Good evening. I want to bless the Lord. O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. I wanted to do this very briefly with you, as I told you earlier, that I was going to come back and speak to you about what I posted, what was hello everybody. Moses' assignment from God when he sent him into Egypt to get his people, to bring the children of Israel out of Egypt. What was his assignment? And I enjoyed reading your post today and everything that everybody had said. It was very interesting. And some of you were right on point. And I just want to add some things to it in order for you to grasp some key points to this. You're going to have to go back and look at what happened to Moses at Sinai when he saw the burning bush and he went up to see, and God spoke to him out of the burning bush. Something happened to him there. And this also applies to us personally. Excuse me for a moment. It also happens to us personally. Now, with all the things that God did in Egypt before the children of Israel, there's one thing that he never did and that he tried to do with the children of Israel that he never could do. And there was only one place that he could only do that with, and that was at Sinai. And that was to sanctify their hearts. And he told Moses at the top of Mount Sinai, go down into Egypt, bring the children of Israel out, and bring them back to Mount Sinai, that he can sanctify himself in them. And that word sanctify means separate or set apart. And when if he had able to do this, he would have established a relationship between him and them, just like he had with Moses. With all the miracles that he performed in Egypt, it never sanctified their hearts or their relationships between him and them, between them and God. But all the things that he did before them, it never sanctified their hearts between them and God. With what he did before the Egyptians, before their eyes, it never sanctified their hearts. How do you know this? Because they never believed. They never trusted him. They always murmured and complained. That's how I know it never sanctified their hearts. How do you know whether your heart is sanctified? Because you have the baptism of the Holy Spirit? That doesn't mean your heart is sanctified. That means you have the ability for it being sanctified. Until you go up and go higher and spend that quality time, it'll never be sanctified. To become sanctified before the Lord, there must be a oneness of spirit and mind between you and God. And the thing that happened with Moses is Moses learned how to live in the mountain. The children of Israel didn't. And every time Moses would go up, so would Joshua and Caleb. Not even Aaron went up every time Moses went up. So the children of Israel learned how to live off of miracles and bread. Moses, Joshua, and Caleb learned how to live just off of God and his word alone. That's what it means to be sanctified, by just being God and God alone. And that's what God wanted. He wanted then, and that's what he wants now. So when we hear the message of sanctification being preached now, and it means to be separated with God, it doesn't mean to be come out from among the world. It means to have oneness between us and God. It literally means to sanctify the Lord in your heart till it's just you and God. Oneness. I preached a message one time, and some of you who are listening now, when is having God not enough? Moses learned that having God was enough. The children of Israel never learned that. Some of the other prophets learned that. There's some people today who have learned that. And there's a lot of people today who have never learned that. Sanctification is one with God. Moses, go into Israel, get my people, bring them back to this mountain, that I may sanctify myself in them. I will be their God, and they will be my people. In other words, I in them, and they in me. And that will be all they will need. And that was the assignment. And that's why they wandered in the wilderness for all those years. Because having God wasn't enough. They murmured and complained. Having God wasn't enough. Was he not with them? Yes, he was. A pillar of cloud by day, pillar of fire by night. Whenever they cried and was hungry and thirsty, he was there. But that wasn't enough. He kept them cool during the daytime. He kept them warm at night. But that wasn't enough. They still murmured and complained. Are you beginning to understand this now? So, we have the Holy Spirit. We go to church every Sunday. We do revivals. We do all the church stuff. We speak in tongues. We do signs and wonders. But are we practicing sanctification? The art of coming into oneness with God. Is that enough for us? Is that enough for God? Is it enough? Or have we just got complacent with the system of church? The assignment was, Pastor Q, the assignment was to bring the children of Israel back to Mount Sinai so that he can sanctify himself in them, so that having him will be enough and all that they need. We are supposed to bring people to God so that having God will be enough. Go higher. Expose people to the very presence of God so that they will get God and he will be enough. Not just church, not just jumping and shouting, music and all the other stuff, but just get into the presence of God. We need to get to the place where we teach people how to look and get into his presence. We are now teaching people how to seek God for get things. When you get the things and then they rot and they get old and they vanish, then what you have? Right back to seeking something else to replace the thing that just disappeared. And you're going to repeat the same cycle of the world over and over and over and over again, rather than getting people to get hold of God and allow him to sanctify our mind, our heart, and all of our desires, so that we'll get satisfied with just him. That's the assignment. And every person who has been called to preach, to teach, to whatever you want to call it, your assignment has been the same. And that is, bring people to God so that having God will be enough in their life. If you teach them how to be filled with the fullness of God and not just church. All right, that's it. Be blessed. Find favor with God, and he will give you the favor of his living life. Be blessed, y'all.